Okay, I got a bleach fight for you guys tonight, and it is Byakuya Kuchiki versus Yoruichi Shioin, but during the Soul Society arc, way back then, right? Now, they had their little clash or whatever, during that time, but we didn't actually see them, go toe to toe like how he did against Ichigo. Yoruichi, we understand she used to be a captain of the Gote 13. She's really fast. She's really good with the quick steps. Um, she's actually, we'll get into this in a minute. Like, so let's get to talking. And we know that Byakuya at this point in time, he's the captain of Squad 16 once Rukia dead, right? So we'll just say in this scenario that basically Ichigo needs more time to train so he can, master his Bankai, or, understand it better before going to his fight with Byakuya. And she's basically, we'll say in this scenario that she's like, I'm gonna go fight him so he has more time to train and refine his skills. That's how I make this fight make a little bit of sense as far as like how it relates to the story. And that could have, been a thing, but it didn't happen. But, I'll let you know how it goes down. So strength goes to Byakuya. Speed goes to Yoruichi. Durability goes to Byakuya. With the endurance going to Byakuya. With the intelligence going to Byakuya. With the experience going to Yoruichi. With the close skills going to Yoruichi. With the range skills going to Byakuya. With the recovery going to Byakuya. Hacks going to Byakuya. And the environment will go to Yoruichi. They have open field and shit, and I think she's good in open, terrain. Fuck that. It's Byakuya. I ain't gonna cap, nigga. It's Byakuya. He knows that shit better. They're fighting on Sogyo-ku Hill, by the way, man. So, this fight, I see the beginning of it going much like this. Yoruichi actually has the upper hand at the beginning, kind of like letting him know, remember when you were a kid and you could never catch me? I got you, I got you, right? But then he's like, okay, well, this ain't, all those years ago, I'm actually a fucking guy now. And he starts, making moves on her, right? Now, he pushes her to Shunko before he goes into his Bankai, right? So she uses Shunko, and then when she uses Shunko, she's actually fucking him up, a little bit. He's trying to beat her with just a Shikai, and he's like, damn, this bitch is just fast. I have to just take that L when it comes to my speed, but overall, I still got this bitch beat. I'm slightly smarter than her. I'm smarter than she is. I'm taking this shit real seriously. I don't give a fuck, my sister did this, Um, and this guy you're trying to, like, buy time for, have you really bought him any time? Bankai comes out, and that's why I had to give him the hacks, right? She don't use a Bankai or any of that shit. And Shunko's not strong enough to handle shit like that. She was able to beat Soy Phone, but let's not cap, guys. Soy Phone, she's not one of the stronger captains. If she had to buy time for Ichigo, she'd buy him some time, but she ain't winning that fight. Yeah, man, she wouldn't win. He has the Zenbone Zakura Kageyoshi, and then when he scatters these petals, he can be smart about it, and he can leave petals there and there, right? And then he can basically box her in. She can probably shock her way through some of that shit, but I wouldn't be surprised if these blades get through, man. And it's a high diff battle, man. I ain't she ain't going out like Renji. Trust me, bro. She ain't going out like he did. She's definitely causing him, giving him scars and cuts and all that shit, man. He's getting shocked and all kind of stuff, man. But he ends up winning in the end. So be cool, on the corner, and let me know what you think in the comments.